Every day, you wake up as your own boss, making your own way. Every day, you continue your journey to change the world, your team, and yourself. Every day, you encourage, congratulate, celebrate, and reach toward your goal of being the best and providing the best. The Build Your Best Business Show is for you. The real stories of building a business from other owners and founders along the journey. Find the support and advice you need to successfully start, grow, manage, and exit your business. What are you going to do today to build your best business?
Welcome to Build Your Best Business. I'm your host, Eric Holtzclaw. Build Your Best Business focuses on the entrepreneurial journey. What does it take to successfully start, manage, grow, and exit a business? Today, we're talking with Staci Ann Karim. She is the founder of Rebel Fit Wellness. Staci Ann, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, and so you're out in Albuquerque, New Mexico?
Yeah, so hot, sunshiny, gorgeous mountains. Loving it out here.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about Rebel Fit Wellness. What does Rebel Fit Wellness do?
Yeah, so at Rebel Fit Wellness, we are on a mission to help highly ambitious, highly motivated leaders and influencers increase their confidence, reduce their stress, and ultimately avoid burnout so they can make more money and serve more people and do all of that within their already busy lifestyle. So our clients rant and rave about having more energy, being more productive, enjoying mental clarity, which, ultimately leads to a more fulfilled life.
Okay, so we have a lot to discuss because the entrepreneur has a lot of problems focusing those things, right? Because there's a lot going on. I talk about the first 3 years, first 1,000 days of a business they're just like having a kid, right? It's up all night, you're trying to keep up with it, and you do run into those times where, you run out of, and I was looking at some of your content around, getting more energy and feeling like you're run down. So what are some of the things that you do in your practice to help people get to those points of, that clarity and having more energy?
Yeah, absolutely. So our first focus when we first start working with people is on their health and wellness, because when you're an entrepreneur and you're focusing on your business and you're focusing on hitting those goals, bringing in revenue, getting clients, getting leads, all this stuff that brings you money and basically makes a business, the first thing that goes to the wayside is your health.
Yeah.
Right? If you're anything like I was before I get started in my healthy journey, it's easy to get through the day and go, oh my gosh, I haven't eaten in like 12 hours.
Or you could be bad like me and I brought in donuts to the studio. So we've all been eating donuts all day long.
Right. So it's like one or the other, right?
Right.
You're like either snacking all day, because especially if you work from home and like the refrigerator is like right there. And if you're trying to put off doing something in your business, like the easiest thing is to just go grab a cracker or whatever it might be. Or you do the opposite, which is you get through the day and you don't eat anything. So health is something it's easy to put off, right? It's easy to put off, working out or, just going outside and all this stuff because we have so many other things to do. And especially if you have a family or you want to do anything outside of your business, the priorities are business, family, and there's no room for anything else. So
Right.
What we do is we help you work in a healthy lifestyle in all of that fits with you and your unique body, your unique needs, your unique schedule, so that you can start to get the infinite amount of benefits of being healthier, right? So we don't, we're not like those intense bodybuilder type people.
Right.
Our focus is health for the purpose of having more energy, being more productive, and just being a better all-around business person.
Yeah, and I've been part of Vistage in the past, which is a CEO roundtable. And when they first started the group, they would ask you to give on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you doing personally and how's your business doing? And they realized a lot of their members were having heart attacks, like they were having health issues. And so they added a third number. So each month when we would meet, we had to give them 3 numbers. One was, how are you doing personally? how are you doing business, and then how's your health? And you'd think that that would tie into personal, but we put that to the side. You know, you could personally be fine, but your health could be terrible, right? It's like we don't think about it that way. It's something that I feel like some people say, well, I'll take care of it someday. Like I'll do something different or better someday.
Right, exactly. And we make that someday today. And that's actually exactly what made me realize that I needed to go on a health journey, was doing one of those wheel of life exercises and giving all of my everything a score. And I realized my health was like a 2.
Oh, wow.
And nothing else in my circle could really expand too much further out because my health was dragging me down. I was exhausted. I just was grumpy all the time. I had like physical pain. I was 80 pounds overweight. I would get winded, and I was 28 years old.
Oh, wow.
So like, these are all things that it doesn't matter what, you know, how old you are, you can deal with them. So I was running a business. I was flying all over the world, and I had completely let my health go, and I was starting to pay for it in big ways. And so it doesn't surprise me at all that the members were having heart attacks. And if you know, that's the extreme, right?
Right.
Like when you really let your health go, that's the extreme. But even just the little things that you can experience is like lacking creativity. As entrepreneurs, we have to be, you know, creative almost all the time because we're constantly coming up with new ideas and ways to solve problems. And if that creativity just isn't at the level that it needs to be, what happens? Our business starts to backslide. But if we can get that mental clarity, our creativity increases, our business increases. So it really all plays together in this beautiful way when it's all working together, but it can be a train wreck
Right.
if it's not all playing nicely together.
So you then needed to figure this out for yourself first before you could start talking to others. So what did you do? Did you do, you know, I've seen people do email bankruptcy or decide they were going to take a sabbatical, or did you do something extreme, or was it a slight change?
No, I took the extreme route, like extreme to the extreme. I shut down my business. And so I was running a very successful marketing agency. I was jet setting all over the world. I had clients all over, and on the surface, it looked like I had it all. I was 28 and I was making a lot of money, and I was successful, and it was great, and I was miserable. Like I said, I was 80 pounds overweight, and I hurt all the time. I was exhausted all the time. And I had a 7-month-old son.
Oh, wow.
So I had a real baby, no business baby.
Right.
So I was done. And it started to play out where I hated my business because I was just so burned out physically that it started to burn me out mentally and emotionally. So I went nuclear, and I shut down my business. I emailed all my clients, and I was like, you have 30 days. Like, we're going to
figure it out. Right.
And then we're done, for my own personal sanity. And so I shut it down, and I just decided to focus on my health. I ended up losing 50 pounds within 5-6 months. And I realized how much better I felt, not just physically, and it's not just that I looked so much better, but I felt better, and my brain started working again, and I was looking at life differently. I was happy, and I was excited to wake up in the morning. And I realized, oh my gosh, like, I have to help other entrepreneurs before they go nuclear too.
Yeah, right.
Because you have a message that is meant to be out in the world. You have a purpose and a passion, and if you're miserable and healthy and burned out, it's hard to get that message out there. So I did the nuclear option. I shut down my business and just started working out.
So is that your schedule with other people? Do you tell them to shut their business down now?
No, because I try to work with people before they get to the nuclear option. I'm like, please, we got to figure this out. Although if, you're not getting fulfillment from your business anymore, I don't know, maybe that is something.
Maybe it is time.
Always an option.
Yeah.
No, so we work together to fit in health, wellness, peace, calm, all that stuff while running your business. So because I after I shut down my business and had this time to myself, I realized what I could have done along the way in order to not get to the point where I had to walk away from it all.
Yeah. So what are some things that you see that are just simple things that we can change that people don't pay attention to?
Yeah, schedule time to eat, please. I know
The good news for me is that by around 11:30 in the morning, if I hadn't eaten, my entire team knows that it's time to feed me, because I turn into like that, alter ego. But yeah, I can see that where I was with a CEO yesterday doing a brainstorming session, and I didn't see him eat. Like we ordered him a sandwich and he ate like 2 bites of it. And if I had gotten to 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon and not eaten, I would not have been a happy person.
Yes, exactly. So, making sure you're scheduling in healthy meals, because if you're like me, if it's not on my calendar, it doesn't get done. So I actually write in this is what I'm going to eat. This is what I'm going to eat. So you don't get to 11 o'clock and you're hangry and you're psycho, right? Because that affects you, your team, your business. And if you have client calls coming up or anything, that affects how you deal with your clients. So it's like, how can you schedule that so that you know what you're going to eat instead of going to the fridge and grabbing a dozen donuts?
That's so funny. And mine's more survival, because I have a high metabolism and I know I need to eat on a regular basis. And my wife and daughter kid because I'm always thinking about the next couple of meals at the meal I'm at. Like, this is what we're going to do at this meal. And my wife's like, you're always thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, because it's really important, right? Because I know that if I don't, I'm not going to function. I'm going to be in a bad mood. And I hate getting to that point of it's time for dinner and I have no idea what it's going to do. But that's more my personality. There are other areas of my life I don't think about. Exercise would be one that I probably need a plan for, right? I want to, but I don't do a good job of saying this is when it's going to happen.
Right. Yeah. So that would be my other thing, is making time for movement. So that doesn't necessarily mean going to the gym and, for like 5 hours a day and pumping iron and running on the treadmill and all that stuff, but just making time to move and putting it in your calendar and making that just a part of what you do. So a lot of times when my clients come to work with me and I'll say, how often are you moving throughout the day? And the answer is, I sit on my butt for 8 hours working on my business.
Right.
And I totally get that. That's exactly how I was. And just planning in momentary, like get up and, take a walk around the block, or, so if you don't have a full hour at one time, take 5 minutes just to get yourself moving and make sure you're planning for it. But making movement a priority, not because you have to and not because you're trying to lose weight or any of that stuff, but moving because it feels good.
It feels good, and it'll break your block, right? I mean, if you're in the middle of something, it's a great way. I've noticed I walk away from something and then I come up with a better idea than what I had sitting there trying to drill through it.
Yeah, exactly. So, changing this mindset. So a lot of what I do is just helping people shift their mindset around health and wellness and food and exercise and all this. And, because we got it drilled into us that we have to exercise, we have to punish our bodies and put them into submission, right? And we have to punish our bodies by only eating, 1,200 calories. That's what women get drilled into us from the time we're 13. And so just changing that paradigm from this is something I have to do and I have to make my body, my submissive, right, to I get to do this and it feels good and I get awesome ideas when I get out and I move, and I feel good when I eat, and I feel even better when I eat well. And just those changes that happen with looking at health and wellness a little bit different is pretty incredible.
So we're going to go to a commercial break, and when we get back, I want to talk a little bit about transitioning from your old business to deciding to do this. So how you found your first clients, how you kind of bring people on, those kind of things, because it's a big transition for you. You really decided to start something new. So talking today with Staci Ann Karim. She is the founder of Rebel Fit Wellness, and you're listening to Build Your Best Business. I'm Eric Holtzclaw. We'll be back in just a minute. Congratulations, you're your own boss. Now comes the hard part. It's not just about starting a business. It's about successfully managing and growing that business to an eventual exit. And along that entrepreneurial journey, you're going to run into questions and problems that you need quick answers to. Things like, do you need a business plan? How do you read a balance sheet? How do you talk to an investor? When do you bring on a founder? Or what if you're having problems with your partner? These are the types of things that you run into as you're trying to grow that business to the next level, and they may not be the things you want to share in public with other people. They're the problems and issues that arise that, as I have experienced along my own entrepreneurial journey, that I needed to have someone I could trust to reach out to and have a conversation and get a different perspective. And it was often those short conversations that would be the thing that moved me from where I was to where I needed to be. It's for that reason I created the On-Demand CXO product offering. On-Demand CXO is something that you can use to have a conversation with a trusted advisor about what's going on in your business. We do a 1-hour phone call to talk about your business, talk about your objectives, and understand what it's going to take to move you from where you are today to where you want to be tomorrow. From there, you have ongoing access to a Slack channel to ask me questions in private about what's going on in your business so that I can provide some advice or connections to my network to individuals who can help you solve against that problem. You will also have access to my Facebook page, which is full of other entrepreneurs who are along the same journey, to have more broad conversations, things that you trust and would talk about in a networking event. But when you need to go and have that conversation with a trusted advisor, you will have the ability to have a conversation with me in a place that's safe, completely anonymous, and unbiased. I want to see you succeed and build your very best business. And we're back. You're listening to Build Your Best Business. I'm your host, Eric Holtzclaw, and we discussed the entrepreneurial journey. What does it take to successfully start, manage, grow, exit a business? And I guess today's topic is, how do you survive it along the way? We're talking with Staci Ann Karim. She is the founder of Rebel Fit Wellness. She had her own entrepreneurial marketing agency. She was decided to basically file kind of her own personal bankruptcy and take a sabbatical from it, shut it down, and then she's gone into the world of helping others not get to that point of no return. So you decide to make that pivot, like you say, hey, this is what I had to do to get reset. How did you decide, how did you get into that part of the business? I mean, having the marketing background probably helped, but what were some of those first clients? How did you get this thing up and running?
Yeah, so having been in marketing for about 6-7 years beforehand, I actually never wanted to go in the health and wellness industry because I didn't want to market for it. So this is not something that I ever planned was going to happen. But going along, I felt that this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I know I can help people because I have been there and I've been on the really bad end of this. And I don't want to see other really talented people get to where I was. And so I decided to do something that I had never really done. I went about this shift a little bit different than I did the first. So I kind of fell into marketing, and I had no formal experience in terms of degrees or certifications or anything like that. I was kind of on the millennial cusp of social media coming about. So I just grew up with it and working at a hair salon. I was the youngest person, so naturally
you're the one who had to figure out the tools. Yeah.
Right. And they're like, do our Facebook. And I just kind of got really good at it. And so I fell into that business, and this one I decided to take it a little bit differently because it was something completely new to me. So I actually went out and got certified as a health coach. I went through a certification program through the International Coaching Federation. It's accredited by that organization. And I went 6 months to really dive in, figure this out, and make sure that I could help people at the highest level. So I really, I guess I went the more traditional route with this of choosing it and then taking the steps to do it. And having the marketing background really did help, especially having the online marketing background of knowing, okay, step 1, build an email list.
Right.
Where I think, as before, it was like, oh my gosh, what do I do?
Yeah, what's so funny is there's certain things that are unique, and then there's certain things that are just business, and knowing which ones are which and fitting all those pieces together. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I had to learn the industry specific stuff And then it was like the business stuff just kind of all fell in, it's like building an email list and connecting with people. But for me, actually, with this business, I did something a little bit differently because I had a network of people this go around. When I was first getting started, I was 21, 22, and I had just graduated college. I didn't know what I was doing, and I was just meeting people and didn't know what to do next.
Right.
So this business, I was like, okay, I'm going to focus, and I know these people and these people and these people, and I can reach out. And so the first thing I did was I just started actually helping people for free, which is, I don't know.
That's the best way. It's the way to get your referrals and to get your first testimonials. It's smart.
Yeah. So that was my goal, just to get people to say how amazing I was. They did.
That's good.
That's good. And really just to get that confidence, because it was a different industry. So that's what I did. I just reached out to my personal network and said, hey, I'm going to hold this 28-day energy reboot program just to see how you feel at the end of 28 days, see how much energy you could possibly have in 28 days. And everybody that went through it absolutely loved it, got results, and I got testimonials, but I also got the confidence, because I think so much of being an entrepreneur is just believing in yourself and knowing that you're doing awesome stuff in the world.
Yeah.
And then just going out there in a big way. So that was the way I started getting clients. Just reached out to people and offered to help them for free.
Yeah. Well, and I like the idea of the thinking around the term energy, because it's something people want. I mean, everybody wants to have energy. You don't want to feel run down, and you don't want to feel, and that message often isn't the message used in the health and wellness space. It's some kind of a negative message, right? So that energy thing is a really smart way to get people to line up with, that's, who would say, no, I'd like to be low energy, right?
Right, exactly. And you bring up a good point about the negative message in health and wellness, because so much of the diet industry is perpetuated by you're not good enough, right? And if you just were 20 pounds lighter, then your life would be better. And I'm the anti-diet coach, so I look at it very different with, you're already perfect. You're already a fantastic human being, and you're already doing great things in the world. Let's get you to the next level and see how much better, things can be. How much more energy can you have? How much more productive can you be? How much more excited to wake up in the morning could we possibly get you? So it's this positive of, you're already incredible. Let's just get you to the next level of incredible.
Well, and we live in such a world of mixed messages and new information. So like today it's eat bananas, tomorrow it's not, kale's the greatest thing since whatever, quinoa, like blah, blah. It's very hard. And I'm my wife says that I'm prone towards healthy things. I just sort of like them naturally, which, I'm not typically a potato chip and bag of cookies kind of guy. I'm going to like something if it's healthy. So that helps me, but other people like deciding what it is that you should or shouldn't be following, just having someone to help them understand how to look through the advice. Like, do I do this or not?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's something new every day. I always like to joke. My husband and I have had this joke for years about, are eggs good today? Yeah. Because, and one day it's like, oh, eggs, eat all of them. Right. Yeah. And the next, like, they're going to kill you. And so we always wake up and we're like, are eggs good today? Yeah. And that's like a running joke for us. And now that like I'm in this world, the only people that really benefit from fad diets are the creators of the fad diet. Right. And knowing how your unique body works and what foods give you energy and what foods take them away is so important, because for every person it's different. For me, red meat drains my energy, but for you, it might absolutely just light you up and spark your world, right? And so knowing those things.
Is it experimentation on that, or is there like tests you have them take? Because I've seen things like, is it just experimentation to learn those things?
Yeah, so we do it's called a 4-day energy experiment. It's actually the very first thing that I have clients do, and we figure out what foods drain your energy, what foods give you energy, because it's different for each person, and it's not just like what meats, but how much carb, what kind of carbs energize you, and like what proportion and stuff like that. But it's mostly just, it's an experiment of what does your unique body need to function at its highest level.
Yeah.
And especially for women, this can change throughout the month. For men as well, it's like how your hormones are doing all kinds of stuff. So it's like, but listening to your body and knowing what it's asking for is a life skill that we all need, and especially as entrepreneurs, because like you said, when you're about to get hangry. Yeah. Your team knows when you're about to get hangry.
They're like, feed him something. Yeah. Right.
And then my husband knows when I'm about to get to that point. And so learning, not only those cues, but others, so that you can really be 1 or 2 steps ahead of it. So you don't walk into a meeting and 5 minutes in, you're like, it's like Jekyll and Hyde situation. Yeah. You don't want that. You want to bring your best energy all the time. And so knowing your body's intuition is really important.
And what's smart about this is, as entrepreneurs, if you're smart, you are outsourcing the things you don't do well. So you outsource your accounting because maybe you don't do it well, or you outsource your legal. We don't often think about outsourcing things like this because it's hard to keep up with it. So having somebody like you who's a resource to say, hey, this is the new thing you should be considering, or have you thought about that? And even just getting a different perspective on how you're running your life. I love the idea of scheduling stuff into your day because we schedule everything else, and whatever time's open on the calendar gets taken by something, right? So what are some other ways that you help people kind of avoid the ultimate pitfall? You talk about the scheduling, understanding what your body likes. What's another thing that you would suggest?
Yeah. So, how you do one thing is how you do everything. So how you treat your body is very much how you treat your business and how you treat, all the other things going on in your life. So we look at your health and wellness from a holistic standpoint and not just like food, exercise, it's like, how is this all playing in together, and how can you better balance your business so that your health is better balanced? Or how can you balance your conversations with your spouse so that it's not leading to this stress fest, which leads to binge eating, which leads to feeling guilty, which leads to, all these other
cycle.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we really look at all aspects of your life, your business, and everything that's going on, and figuring out how best to take on those challenges that you're having and how to go about it differently, because it all cycles back, like you said, it's like a cycle. It all kind of cycles back. So how you're eating or how you view food is probably very much connected to how you view yourself, and how you view yourself is connected to how you are in your business, and how you are in your business is very connected to how you are in your relationship. Yeah. So really just helping with the whole person is really what we do. So I'm in a unique position because I was in business, and I was a business coach, and just having those coaching and business skills, I'm able to, help business people say, well, maybe we should step back from your health for a second and let's talk about your business.
Right.
The last call I was on ended up, talking about webinars, how to have a webinar, because it was stressing her out. And if something's stressing you out, we really need to tap into that.
Yeah, I get brought in to fix businesses that are failing, or I'm really focused on the business, but I spend a lot of time in those deep, dark conference room conversations saying, so who got angry this morning at the kitchen table? Or why are we in this mood you're in today? Because we try to compartmentalize them. We call them like business, work, school, food, and they're not compartmentalized. They are all part of this big sort of painting of what you're doing, and they impact each other. So it's very smart to think of it that way. Well, very cool. We're going to put all the information on how to get to you on our show notes. We appreciate you coming on and talking to us about it. It's a very cool thing that entrepreneurs do a really bad job of.
But you can do better. There is hope. I promise.
Absolutely. So we've been talking with Staci Ann Karim. She is the founder of Rebel Fit Wellness. Rebel Fit Wellness. So you should look her up in our show notes. And if you're an entrepreneur, to build your best business, you must be in good condition. You must be ready to take on those next battles each day. So what are you going to do to build your best business?